Good morning. I guess I'm in the bucket today, so.
Start your 10 minutes now?
I'll start my 10 minutes now. I realized last night about 9:30, it just popped into my head, hey, Julie said you're going to do the 10 minutes, because I wasn't here last week. So you're going to do 10 minutes today. So I have no preparation. I'm going to totally wing it. I'll pass this book around, it has some of our work in it. I'll kind of start off with a little. What I do every day is ride around in the car. Go job to job, and try to keep everybody that works for me honest. Because of that, I've become a serious radio junkie. I listen to Sirius radio all day long in the car. And just recently I realized all the old Johnny Carson episodes are being rehashed on the radio every day on channel 105, if you're interested. So I heard he had Danny DeVito on there this week. And Danny DeVito told his favorite joke, which I'm going to start with, which is the absolute worst joke I've ever heard in my entire life. But he told everybody he met, including the King of Morocco. So that's what kind of makes it a little bit funny. But anyway, this guy goes into a psychiatrist and he says, Doc, I'm having this really bad problem. I have a recurring dream. I can't get rid of it. It's over and over, night after night. It's driving me nuts. And the psychiatrist says, well, what is it? He says, well, every night I dream about one thing. I dream about a teepee and a wigwam. And the psychiatrist says, that's the simplest problem I've ever heard. He says, easiest diagnosis I've ever made. He says, well, what is it? He says, you're too tense.
Oh.
First joke, this guy's me. I got it from Danny DeVito.
Somebody get me off the stage.
He's the comedian. So, well, that's what I told Julie. She says, well, start with some background stuff. I said, the last time I did this, I tried that and everybody got on the laugh. So, I'm just going to go, I'm going to be very brief. I grew up on the East Coast. So I grew up, I guess, a fuzzy-headed Eastern liberal because I grew up in Washington, D.C. Then I learned what the government was all about, and I changed all of my attitudes. So, moved to Denver in 1980, lived in Washington most of my life. Moved to Denver in 1980. My company transferred me here in 1987. And like they say, there's two kinds of people in Texas, those that were born here and the rest of us who got here as soon as we could. So some of them may not agree with that, but it's a pretty good place to live. My company is the Handyman Service Group. We're a very small remodeling company. We do painting, we do flooring, we do bathroom and kitchen remodeling, and any kind of small jobs that pop up. For my customers, I've done everything from change a light bulb to remodel their whole house. So we're available to do pretty much anything that anybody needs. Right now, we're trying to concentrate on painting, remodeling bathrooms and kitchens because they last longer and they're a lot easier to do than changing a light bulb, believe it or not. Been in business since 2003. In this business, have owned this business since 2013. I grew up in the corporate world. I worked for companies like Cisco and what was back in the day the CP Telephone Company, selling background telecommunication systems. So when I retired in 2002, I lasted 2 years. I played golf for 2 years. I sold my lawnmower. I don't have any hobbies, so there was not anything left to do but work. So I started doing jobs that I always thought I wanted to do and found out I didn't. So I started in this business with a friend. He and I worked at a company that he had for a while. We went and worked for another company, and then we started this company. So all I can say about the company is we do great work. I've done work for a lot of people in this room, and most of them are happy with it. Those that aren't, I convince them they should be. So we'll do, like I said, we'll do pretty much anything that anybody wants done inside or outside of the house. We don't do roofs, we don't do gutters, and we don't do landscaping, but pretty much anything else we do. So that's my story, and I'll turn it back over to Julie.
What about questions?
Yeah, do you have anyone have any questions for Ed and his business or his stand-up comedy?
If you got any open engagements, I'll be glad to film.
You do fences, patios?
I work with people who do fences and patios. I do fences. I'm not in the fence business, but I've built a lot of fences. I stain fences, I repair fences. I repair more fences than I build. I don't like doing permits with cities. You can repair a fence or replace 20% of it in most cities. If you want to replace the whole thing, then you gotta be registered with the city, you gotta get a permit. And,
I did it legally there.
yeah, exactly.
I put my own by myself.
Well, if you do it to your own house, that's one thing. If a contractor does it, that's something else. One of the things that a city will require is if you get a permit to do a fence, just about every city now requires that you have metal posts. So they will make you dig all the holes and set a metal pole in it, and then they'll come out and inspect the hole. Make sure it's deep enough and wide enough. Then you pour the concrete in the hole, and they'll come out and inspect all the fence posts, make sure that you've set them far enough apart. And if you hadn't, they'll make you take all that concrete out and redo it. And then you build the fence, and then they come out and inspect the fence to make sure that you built it right. So it's building a fence in most cities now has more code and more restrictions than building a house. So, yes, ma'am.
Where do you get most of your business? Is it a repeat business? How
Right
do you
here.
get your?
Listen, networking works. I do very little print advertising. Most of my advertising is word of mouth. I get a lot of business off of an app called Nextdoor. If most of you probably know who Nextdoor is nowadays. It's getting harder and harder to get business on Nextdoor because every contractor in the world now is on Nextdoor. Every realtor in the world is on Nextdoor. So when it first started and you got a rep on Nextdoor, you got a lot of business from it. Now it's kind of dropping off. But right here, I go to several networking groups, and word of mouth and networking is the way to go. Networking really works. And let me tell you, I'm on the board of directors of the chamber. I'm the membership director, and if you're a member of the chamber, if you expect to get anything out of the chamber and get business, you gotta grow trust. And the way to grow trust with the people in the chamber and get business from them is to participate in the chamber events and become active in the things that they do. And it's the same way with any networking group. If you're going to be part of the networking group, you got to go every week as often as you can. Miss only when you absolutely have to, because that's the only way to grow trust with the people in the group. Rick and Linda and I were going to do a whole presentation about this at some point, I hope.
We still live.
Develop yourself a really good tagline. Linda's tagline, everybody, she goes to 48 networking groups, and everybody in every one of those networking groups knows to say what she says at the end, what's your persona. So that's, mine is, we make home repair simple. So find yourself a really nice short tagline and develop yourself a 30-second speech, elevator speech, that you can convey to people what you do, but don't tell them what you do. Less is more. What you want to do in that 30 seconds is make people want to hear more about what you do, not tell them what you do. If you're going to tell them what you do, you need to do it on a one-on-one or a long presentation, but you can't do it in a 30-second. Develop yourself a really good 30-second speech, and if you can't do it, or if you're having trouble doing it, talk to somebody like Linda, who's been doing it forever, like I have, and has been to classes on how to do it, and she can help you. I can help you. Other people in this room can help you with that. So.
I do want to applaud you for all the years that we've worked together.
Thank you.
And I think is it the person who changed the bulb is my neighbor Pat?
Yeah.
She has a two-story house that couldn't get the light bulb out of there, I think she called it. But she's had her bathroom remodeled, several different things remodeled. That his team has worked on my home, painted it. That's one thing, his painter was so particular, not paint anywhere, I mean, where it was supposed to be, it wasn't anywhere else. And so, yes, so when he says he does it simple, meaning that he gets in, he gets out, and he does a good job. And I think Deb Torello, which was one of our Keller Williams agents for a long time, he redid her bathrooms before she put on the market in North Carolina.
She's in North Carolina.
Yeah. And you did the,
Her daughter's got us.
and I sold her daughter a house. So he does work, make it simple, gets in, gets out.
Thanks.
If you want to see a sample of Ed's work, you can walk right around the corner around this hall.
Walk
These
around.
rooms
Go
back here.
look outside, somebody else is doing it.
But I have recommended Ed to several people, and I've never had a complaint.
Thanks.
Awesome, Ed.
Yeah.